Hi, my name is Keithy Antoine. I'm here for Panam 360 out of Montreal, and I'm glad to have this conversation with you, Balta. So you're here in Montreal for, well, you're playing tomorrow, June
Mhm.
29th, for Piknic Electronik at Parc Jean Drapeau. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Is
Good.
Montreal treating you well so far?
Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm always happy to come back whenever I see that in the calendar for a show. Yeah, it's always exciting.
So, tell me a little bit about yourself. How would you describe your music today in your own words?
My music is really, I guess I say this a lot, but it's really an extension of who I am as an individual. My artist name is actually my surname, so there's really no escaping that the connection to me as an individual, I think. And yeah, I would describe it as, I guess, how I would describe myself too. I'm quite an emotional creature. As I've, gotten older, I've become more and more comfortable with my emotions and sharing them. And I think, yeah, music for me is just the perfect outlet for such. And I think that's why a lot of people can connect and relate to my music.
You're not new in the scene, even though some people discover you still today, but you're not new.
Yeah.
Um, how would you describe your journey so far?
It's been a great journey. Been there's been ups and downs along the way of course. But I'm really happy at the point that I am in my career now. Coming from, I guess it was like about 9 years ago that I would say that it became a professional thing for me, going from bedroom producer to full-fledged artist, touring artist, and yeah, it happened so quickly. And then 9 years go by, and I'm here. I'm where I am now, and there's so much more um, that I'd like to accomplish, but I can't forget, what I already have done, and it feels great. It feels amazing to be invited back to Montreal to play Picnic. I played first time pre-pandemic. Maybe it was 2019. I think
Mm-hmm.
might have been. Yeah. And I played a party, I think, around the same time last year in Montreal. But yeah, it's always a pleasure. It's such a beautiful city. Uh, I'm excited to
Yeah,
play again.
the city is pretty welcoming.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah.
Well, I'm from that generation, same generation as you are. We like to say we are citizen of the world, you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
but we come from a place. You come from
Yeah.
Philly, located in New York right now.
Hmm.
How
Yeah.
how can you identify, the influence of your upbringing and all the places you've been in your art craft?
Um, yeah, I think musically speaking, I always kind of fall back on nostalgia. And for me, growing up in where I did in the northeast part of Philadelphia, which was right at the border of the city and then the suburbs. Uh, I think it was a pretty kind of like a generic upbringing in terms of what I was exposed to, like via radio and whatnot. I have a brother 5 years older than myself, and I think of course, I got introduced to things a little bit earlier than maybe I would have if you weren't around. And I was first introduced to, outside of like radio stuff, was like 90s R&B and hip hop. So that was my um my first like love of and interest in music in that genre. Um, and then I guess through film and movies and video games and whatnot. And I wasn't like a big video gamer, but I think that started to introduce me to electronic music. And then what was just popular that was coming from the way it works, and I guess in North America at the time too. We had like pioneers in Detroit, Chicago, and New York, and then everything get exported and then comes back around. And even that's kind of how it worked for me in my career. I got invited to play my first show abroad in uh, Paris, and then played a few more shows, and then I started getting more. I guess I was more accepted back in New York, and as I sort of proved myself abroad. But that going back to that, it was I guess my first exposure would be in more of like a commercial sense. And then I started to do, as I, was coming of age, I started to do my own deep dives and whatnot. And I still will always kind of fall back on what is nostalgic to me. And even in terms of just writing music, I think subconsciously, I might write music in a way that is reminiscent of, what I grew up on. And
Oh,
even if I don't know it,
yeah.
it kind of just is, it's kind of just in me, inside of me now. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about, the way you write music,
Yeah.
because I've been listening to your music intensely for the last 28 hours. And
Uh-oh.
what I notice is that it's nice to listen as much in the morning than at night, you know?
Yeah.
I've been taking the metro, listening to your music, and I'm like, wow, what a nice ride. Was it intentional or
No, I
able
think
to listen to it in any type of mood, type any time of the day?
yeah, it's definitely not intentional. I think that I guess some people might classify my music as introspective, so that
Yeah.
might be a part of it too. Like it can help you when you're lost in your thoughts. And
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah. Mm.
yeah, which yeah, I think it's nice. I'm not, I don't really think too much about um how I want it to perceived. I just wanted to evoke some sort of emotion and some sort of nice feeling that feels special and unique. And if I can do that, if I feel like I can accomplish that, then I'm satisfied with the result. Yeah.
I'm a little bit of a nerd as DJing and all that, because I DJ myself from time to time. Well, I
Great.
like to say I like to mix. I have too much
Yeah.
respect for the discipline to call myself a DJ. I like to say I'm a vibe selector.
That's great.
But
That's the most important, I think.
that's
But
it. I think
yeah,
that's it.
yeah, yeah.
But this
If you don't
this
have that, you don't have much.
you know
Yeah.
but it brings me a lot of interest in the gear, what type of gear you use, how it evolves since
Mhm.
your beginning.
I'll
About
be
that.
honest, it hasn't involved too much.
Oh
I've
yeah.
gotten comfortable with what the tools that I use, and still trying to still trying to learn more. I feel like there's always more room to learn and more stuff to learn, and sometimes I'm a bit timid of expanding like what uh, my resources and messing up my workflow. Um, I'm pretty much like inside the box, inside of the computer kind of thing, and I do enjoy experimenting with synthesizers, drum machines, sequencers, whatever it may be, at like a friend's studio or all that kind of jazz. But um, it's a different type of workflow, and it's amazing and it's quick. But I haven't. I think soon I'm gonna start to implement additions to my repertoire and everything. But I'm really bare bones, and that's kind of what how I got here, and how I'm kind of sticking with it now. For me, what's more important is the music and not necessarily the gear. If I can get the sound that I'm trying to create and looking for without I don't know, 10 synthesizers to choose from, then I'm happy too. And if I need those, then I reach a point where I'm like, okay, I want to branch out and get some stuff and go down the modular rabbit hole of modular gear, which I love the idea of it, but I feel like I wouldn't be able to finish any music. Honestly, I would love to tweak and mess around and play with it all the time. But yeah, I'm pretty bare bones, honestly. I know it's not a fun answer, but I think it's an answer that a lot of younger or just new producers can find open and can appreciate too that you don't need the fancy studio gear. You know, I think I love to work when inspiration is calling, and that might be when I'm on like an airplane, you know, flying a lot. And I like to just be able to start sketching out a draft of music and an idea, whatever it may be. Yeah, it's also the best for being productive. You don't have to be
Yeah.
necessarily in the studio at all times to get work done.
I'm listening to you and getting to know you, and the words that comes in my mind is authenticity. Um, I hear a lot of creativity, and it's funny to say creativity when you want to say that you're using original um, uh, you know, your own voice, your own instrumentation.
Mhm.
It's funny to use the word creativity attached to it because to me that's the way it should be, right? But tell
Mhm.
me a little bit more about that creative process that you're taking chances, you know, and
Yeah, sure,
stay
sure.
away from sampling. Can we say that?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I sample to start an idea. Sometimes if I'm not feeling fully inspired by, let's say, like writing a chord progression or something like that, I might mess around with like a drum groove or something that I can incorporate. And I think that, you know, sampling is a really amazing expression of art as well and creativity. I think it can be done in amazingly creative ways. And
Thank you for
I,
correcting me.
yeah, I like to know, I like the idea of re putting something into a new context. I think that's a beautiful thing. Um, Sort of taking one thing that um, might exist in a world that, you know, might not be so highly regarded or looked upon by some people, and then bringing it into like my universe, my sonic world. I think it was really fun. It's a challenge to try to make it work sometimes, to see if you can take something so out of character and bring it into a, you know, a really nice realm. Um, so for me, it can go both. You know, it can really go both ways. There could be some sampling, and then a lot of just original music written. Some tracks are going to be all original with my own vocals. Some will be
Mhm.
more sample based, and some will be a fusion. I think the you know, working that way has worked for me because it doesn't limit my you know, my creative output.
I'm eager to be there tomorrow to you know, jam with everybody else. Are we going to be able to hear some of your latest release?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I'll play the latest release. I'll probably play some unreleased stuff that I'm working on.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. I think it'll be a good mix of all of that.
How should we prepare ourselves for tomorrow?
Just get ready to have fun. I don't know, the forecast is looking like, you know, might call for some rain. I hope it doesn't.
Then we'll dance on
Yeah, it'll
rain.
be a
Oh,
rain party. Yeah,
yeah,
a
sometimes
rain dance
those are
party. That'd be
the
great.
best.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Awesome.
fun no matter what. Yeah.
Any last words? Thank you so much for that conversation.
Of course. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me and having me. Yeah, I'm just really looking forward to it, to my fans in Montreal, and to you, to seeing you there and having a dance with you. Be great.
Yes. Maybe we can leave the people with you know, an address where they can follow you, a link.
Yeah, yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at my artist name, Baltra, Baltra. SoundCloud, the same thing. I think on all media platforms, my name is pretty unique. So it's either Baltra or Baltra Music. And yeah, you can find me there.
Awesome. Hey,
Cool.
thank you and have a great day,
Yeah,
an
you too.
amazing
Thank you so
weekend.
much.
Enjoy Montreal.
Thank you very much. I'll see you
Bye.
tomorrow. Okay, bye.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye. This was Panam 360 with Keithy Antoine. See you again soon.